So June is now underway. So is the market starting to move? Yes. Is the spring market here? Well, I would say the spring market has kind of come. It's almost gone. It wasn't quite as high as what perhaps everybody expected it to be. A very unusual spring market. But here's the good thing. There's lots of inventory now for the buyers to pick from going into the summer months, going into the fall as well, more than likely. So there's going to be a consistency throughout this year. There's not going to be the ebbs and the flows of previous years that are determined by seasons. It's going to be a lot more of inventories available as the buyers come out. They're going to have options. They're going to have selection. But listen, there have been casualties over the past 3 or 4 months in this type of market. There have been the sellers out there that have been looking for the price of yesteryear, and they're just not getting those numbers. And there are buyers out there that are perhaps shooting above, what they can afford, and they think the sellers are going to be able to come down. Now, can buyers still get deals out there? Absolutely. But you can only get a deal if the seller can afford to sell for the price that you want to make a deal at. And unfortunately, for many sellers out there, they simply cannot go beyond a certain price point, a certain threshold. And in many times, there's a mismatch between the buyer's expectations and the seller's expectations. So that's what I mean. There's going to be casualties on both sides. There's going to be buyers that can't get what they want simply because sellers just aren't going to be able to afford to sell it for that particular price. So therefore, buyers are going to have to readjust, reevaluate their specific criteria. And the sellers out there who need to get a certain dollar, unfortunately, those buyers out there are just not as plentiful as in past years. Now, what I will say is this: the properties that are coming to the market today, are they moving? Yes, they probably are. I would say the properties coming to the market today are moving generally faster than the properties that were coming to market 3 or 4 months ago, simply because I believe now the market has been educated. Everybody is in this corrected mode right now where they believe, okay, I'm not going to get this pie in the sky price. I've got to get realistic with my pricing. I'm not going to get 300,000 or 400,000 above the asking price or 200 or 300 above the asking price. I'm going to get modestly above the asking price, and therefore they are setting up their strategies in such a way to kind of go from 700 to maybe 750, whereas before they might have tried to get 500 to 750, which just isn't happening as often. Now you'll get the odd freak, but it's just not something that we're seeing regularly. So I would say now with sellers' expectations corrected and buyers' expectations now corrected, the properties are now starting to flow. We are in a good market. If you're a buyer, you've got lots of options. If you're a seller, there's buyers out there and the rates are still pretty good. So I do believe we're going to have a fairly good end to the spring market. And believe it or not, I think we're going to have a pretty good summer market. Anyways, my 2 cents. See you guys.